to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 27th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
And Terry Morrow.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on the Parenting Roundabout, and today our rant is directed at our partners. And specifically, their need for us to foster their self-care because apparently making a phone call to the doctor is just too hard for some men, or most men.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do wonder if it's most men. So I called to make an appointment for my husband today, and I made a joke. I wish this guy could make his own appointments, and the lady on the other end laughed. So perhaps
I've heard alone. That many times.
Yeah, she didn't. A couple of days. Well, this was a new patient, so I guess it didn't matter. But when I had tried to call and help my daughter make an appointment, they had to make sure I was on the HIPAA list to even talk to me.
Right.
But I guess if you're calling to make an appointment for your husband, they're like, yeah, it's about par for the course.
Yeah. Well, my husband has had the man flu for the last 3 weeks. So it's the flu, but it's the man version of the flu, which we all know what that looks like. And so he's been kind of holed up in this one particular area of our house. But, you know, it's just been constant. And can you call the doctor? Can you make an appointment at urgent care? Can you call the pharmacist? Can you
yeah.
I mean, he'll prompt me, but then other times I'll be like, okay, I think you should really do this. Talk to your doctor, maybe get this, get that. Well, can you do it for me? Can you, it's like, can't you do any of this on your own? Like, hello.
Yeah. And then, of course, when you're sick, he makes all the phone calls for you, right?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, he's on it. Yeah, I'm lucky if I get
my husband will make his own phone calls for appointments, but in general, we fight over having to make any phone call that's necessary. The classic is, I'll take the dog to the vet, but can you call and make the appointment? Like, well, how am I supposed to make the appointment? I don't know what time you want to go. Like,
right.
Is this the most efficient way to do this? Really? It's not. But we're always like fighting over who has to call. Or he'll call me from being out somewhere. I'll pick up a pizza if you call the place and order it so that it's ready when I get there. Like,
right.
You called me. You could call them.
Yeah.
Or you could get it delivered. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just all stuff like that. We always are like, competing to see who doesn't have to call somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, why is that?
I don't know.
It just falls in my lap. We
have that same thing. It's like, why is it so hard to make a phone call? They're like okay with driving somewhere to go get something.
Right.
But not with making the phone call. I mean, I guess I should just be happy that the labor divides that way. But every now and then somebody else could call for the pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
And making appointments is the worst because, yes, you don't know. And I've had times where he's been standing here next to me, and then I talk to the person on the phone, and then I say, honey, is that a good time for you? He says it's a good time for him. And it's like, am I his mother? Why?
Right.
You're right there. Take the phone. Talk to the person. It's not that hard.
I already pushed the buttons to dial.
I know. Well, I just now I'll go ahead and make the appointment, and then I just send him a Google invite on the calendar online, and then hope he accepts it. And if he doesn't accept it, it's this whole back and forth. So,
yes.
If he doesn't accept it, then he should have to call and change it.
Right? You would think. But then there's this whole back and forth.
Right.
Can't you just do it yourself? Honestly. And it's funny but my son, he's so good about that. I wonder if he's going to fall into that trap if he ever,
if he ever has a sucker who will do it for him.
Exactly. Because my son will do all that. He's, he'll be heading out the door and I'll be like, where are you going? He's like, to the dermatologist for my yearly appointment. I'm like, wow, I taught you well.
Next time, make an appointment for your dad.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah, I've managed to wean my daughter off to do hers. I still have to do my son's because he just doesn't do phone calls either. And, I'm the one who's going to have to drive him there. So it makes sense for me to do it. But, it's my husband is not, he never wants to go to the doctor. Even if he's sick, he just wants to suffer through it. So it's very rare that he wants me to do it. And then I feel like I have such a responsibility to get him an appointment. If I call and the doctor's not there, it's like, he never wants to see a doctor. Something must be really wrong.
Understand?
Yeah, and it's like, I just, now he suddenly says that he wants to go have a physical, which he should have had years and years and years ago. Has just never done it. So I want to make him an appointment as soon as possible, because if he's wanting to do it, maybe something's really wrong. But then you can't get appointments that soon for its, for a physical. And we want to maybe get him into the practice that my kids and I have been going to, and then it's a new patient, and there's only certain times they do those. So I feel like such a failure, that you have to wait for 2 weeks. But I was negotiating with the lady, please, he never wants to go to the doctor. Don't you have anything sooner? That's on his day off, which is the only time he can go. It's such a responsibility, and you know what? I have that responsibility for me. I have that responsibility for the kids. Perhaps the other, parent in the house could not ask me to do that. I had to pick his doctor, just say, don't just pick somebody and I'll go.
Right. And I mean, to be fair, there are things that I just do not do, like snow blowing.
That's true.
But
yeah. And I mean, he cooks. He does a lot. I don't generally complain about it. But things that are personal.
Right.
It's like a personal thing. It's like, wouldn't you want to pick the person you're going to see? And wouldn't you want to make the appointment at a time you want and get used to the operation of the place?
Yeah,
no,
right.
Apparently not.
Yeah, it's the part where, like, it's an added step in the scheduling. Like,
yes, exactly.
Sometimes for skating, like, we bring in judges from far away, and they have to fly here. Mm-hmm. And most of them just buy the plane ticket and then we reimburse them.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're all collecting points like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But once in a while you get one who wants us to actually purchase the ticket. So then it's like, 6 emails like, well, these are the flights. These are the possibilities.
Oh, no.
Which one is good? Like,
oh no.
Oh my gosh, just do it. Like,
yeah.
This is too much back and forth. This is not sensible.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing with something like this. Like,
yeah.
He does, mine does make his own doctor's appointments. I will say that. But it's other household things like, can you call a plumber? Or can you call the vet? Can you call blah, blah, blah? And, I mean, I guess allegedly it's because I'm working at home,
Mm-hmm.
But when it's call the plumber and have them come on this day because I'll be here, like, well, no, then you call.
Well, my favorite one is that since we've moved to the U.S., for a long period of that time, I didn't have a Social Security number because I was here under my husband's work visa. Mm-hmm. And so when we established ourselves here, we had to get a lot of things set up in his name only, right? And so things would come up where I'd have to make these, we'd have to figure out this situation, and he'd be like, okay, well, can you call them and ask them blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I can't. You're going to have to call them because they won't talk to me. Mm-hmm. And he'd repeatedly, well, just call them and get them on the line. Like, no, I'm not your secretary.
Be my secretary.
Right.
Like, hello. But, that used to happen. I mean, it was a good excuse to not call, but at the same time, it was so annoying because he kept asking me over and over again. I'm like, no, I can't. They won't talk to me.
We had some of those things with health insurance one time, and I had to, he had to get on the phone and give them permission to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then it would go back to me.
Yeah.
So, and they put down that it was okay in the future to talk to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, no, that happened so many times. And then he would get on the phone and he'd just pass it back to me, and I'm like, oh gosh, you know what the problem is as well as I do.
So. I feel like there's a perception that I enjoy talking on the phone, or that I am good at it in some way, which I don't, and I'm not. I mean, I guess I am just from practice, talking and to insurance and to doctors and stuff like that, just because I've had to do it, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Feel free to take that over. Absolutely anybody.
That's like the tyranny of competence, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yes.
You're good at it. Well, yes, you get to do it until you die now.
In which case, who is going to call the paramedics? Who is going to call the funeral home?
Who's going to call the insurance company?
That's right.
And the bank and everybody else.
See, you know what? That's the thing, right? It'll all come back to haunt them. All their years of pushing it up on us.
They'll all look at each other and go, what do we do? Mom, can I take your cold dead hand and push the buttons on the phone? This is taking a turn. We better get out of here.
Pretty morbid. Very dark.
On that lovely note, let's say that's it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about parenting older kids, and then come back on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.